함께 영화에 대한 이야기 나눠보고자 합니다. 큰 박수로 맞아주시길 바라겠습니다.
Hello everyone. Thanks so much for coming.
와주셔서
How was it?
감사합니다. I'm sorry.
No, I wish I could have been here during the screening. I didn't know how it went. Did anybody cry? Did anybody have a good time?
좋은 시간 보내셨나요? 우신 분 계신가요? 어떠셨나요?
This is going to be hard with the translation. Our timing is off.
타이밍이 안 맞네요.
Cool. Yeah. I wanted to say thank you for the invitation to the cinema. Thank you to the people who brought the film here, Andamiro Films. Thank you to you guys for coming here, because what we're doing here is called cinema, and it consists of a movie, of a way to make the movie bring to the people, and of people going to see it. Cinema is not in an easy moment right now, and the fact that so many people came to see my film tonight really is very touching, and I'd like to thank you very much for that.
오케이. 일단 상상마당 시네마 감사드리고, 우리 안다미로 영화 배급하는 안다미로 고맙고, 이렇게 와주신 여러분 제일 감사드리고요. 지금 시네마라는 게 좀 영화가 좀 어렵잖아요. 근데 이렇게 우리가 이렇게 다 모여서 볼 수 있게 돼서 기쁘다, 그런 말씀을 하셨다는 걸 다 아실 거예요.
Yeah. So I don't know how much time we have. Can I tell a little bit about the film? How much we got? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
아니요.
Yeah. So I mean, if anybody's in a rush, please go. I won't take it against you. So it is a German, Dutch, Spanish, American, Canadian kind of co-production. German.
더치가 네덜란드,
Yeah.
캐나다,
Canada, American.
미국,
Yeah. And in
Spain.
Spain and also a little bit Portugal.
리를 포르투갈.
So yeah, I mean, do you guys have a question? Then maybe somebody has a question. Anybody have a question?
전 질문 있으신가요 혹시?
Otherwise, I can just talk.
얘기하고 싶은.
There's a question.
이거 통역해야 돼요.
Don't ask about the red hats. It's a.
모자에 여쭤보려고 했는데 넘어갈 거고요. 되게 형식이 되게 재미있게 있어서 흥미롭게 봤고요. 되게 감사를 드리고, 이 영화를 맨 처음에 좀 삭수하게 되신 좀 계기가 있으신지 좀 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Okay, so the translation was, what's my intention with this film? What I wanted to do is say that the time that we're living in is not a terrible, bad, dark time. Even though we have Corona, we have a war in Ukraine, we have all kinds of really big problems, and it feels like every day is worse than the previous, and it feels like this is a really bad time. And we look back maybe at the 70s and we go, oh, look at them, they had so much fun and great music and no problems. The premise or the point of this film is that once we look back at this time from the future, I believe that we will also look at this time as a golden time of opportunity and a golden time of quite a lot of biodiversity still. We still have the Great Barrier Reef, we still have a lot of the Amazon, so we have a big treasure of nature diversity, and we have a way to communicate. Since 20 years we have the internet, we can talk globally with everybody, so this is a great time of opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say with the film. Good luck.
그러니까 제가 조금 통역가가 아니어서 최선의 노력을 다해보겠습니다. 지금 코로나다 뭐다 해갖고 지금 되게 어두워 보이지만 우리 시대가 사실은 이렇게 미래를 생각해 봤었을 때 지금이 골든 황금 시기일 수 있잖아요. 아직 그레이트 베리어 리프도 남아있고 아마존 열대우림도 어느 정도 남아있고, 그래서 이제 그거를 이제 우리가 느끼지 못해서 그렇지 우리가 지금 골든 황금기를 살고 있고, 이제 그거를 지키기 위해서 뭐 그런 얘기를 하시고 싶어서 이렇게 제가 해줬다고 합니다.
So as a filmmaker, and I also wrote this film, then I have to think like, how can I talk about this? And it's an issue that I care a lot for, without being dark and depressing and like annoying to the audience. Because if you open a newspaper, oftentimes the effect is that you lose your good spirit. No, like you go like, oh my God, this world's broken and we can't do anything. So we really sat down with this film and said like, how can we look at it from a different angle? And we realized it's very easy, because nature is beautiful in itself. All you have to do is put it on the screen, and there's something there positive, beautiful, that gives people an emotion and that maybe changes people's way of thinking. So that's what we try to do. If you go through the film with the stopwatch, you will realize that from the 92 minutes, 45, almost exactly half, is nature images. So we try to say, look at all this beauty.
아까 한 얘기랑 비슷한 얘기 같아요. 여러분 다 알아들으셨죠?
This is more about her than about me.
잠깐만. 지금 네이처. Can you what?
No, just to make that it's not a negative
아,
way of looking at
아
biodiversity.
이거
Yeah.
바라보는 그 시선을 좀 바꿔보고 싶었다. 이게 이 아름다운 자연이 지금 있는 그대로 아름답다. 그거를 영화로 보여주고 싶었다. 어둡지 않게. Right? no question?
Another question. There's someone there.
혹시 그 배경이 사이버펑크 이런 거 이렇게 막 그래픽이라든가 아니면은 막 레드 트리 아니면은 막 약간 좀 그런 여러 가지 이렇게 막 빨간 색깔 이렇게 배경 이런 것들은 다 어떻게 구상하시는지 그게 궁금한데.
The red colors?
How
Yeah.
can you make the menu?
So we didn't have so much money, so we couldn't make big sets and make big futuristic styling because we didn't have the budget. So we decided, let's do something in camera that makes everything look strange, even though it's actually the normal world. So we did a combination of interesting locations, the solar plant, the solar area, it's in Spain, all these windmills, it's in Holland. And then in camera we used, okay, do this first. So we did two things, locations.
로케이션. 그래서 저 이상한 특이한 곳 찾아서 윈드밀 where?
No money, then
아
just do
돈이
it.
없어가지고 근데 이제 고급스럽게 저예산으로 찍어야 해서 이게 막 그 SF 그 장르가 할 수 없잖아요. 그래서 좀 특이한 곳을 찾아서 윈드밀 인
Holland.
폴란드, 네덜란드 그리고
Hmm.
지금 어디 플레이스
In Spain.
아
And,
스페인에
yeah.
있는 또 거기 그렇게 했다고 합니다. 로케이션.
Yeah, and the second thing is what you're asking about, the red color, and it is it's shot on infrared. That's a photography technique that already exists for quite a long time. It was used in the Vietnam War, that the Americans used it to distinguish the jungle from military vehicles, because from the top it's both green. It's like a green tank and a green jungle, so you don't see the difference with your eye. But on the infrared, a green printed piece of cloth comes out black, and a green tree comes out white.
그러니까 이 적외선 촬영 제가 기술은 잘 모르는 적외선 촬영이란 같은 게 있나 봐요. 베트남 전쟁에서 뭐 쓰기도 했다는 카메라 트리.
Yeah.
예. 그래서 그걸 하면은 색깔이 뭐 무슨 색 빨간색은 검게 나온다고. 색깔이 좀 우리가 봤었을 때 좀 특이하게 나오기 때문에 그 기법을 사용했었다고 합니다.
And so then, just like originally we were going to shoot it also in black and white, like this is the technology that was there. But just before we decided to really shoot, these guys again from California came up with a filter, a special camera filter that allowed us to shoot color infrared. So it's brand new technology. Basically, all the colors are normal, apart from the chlorophyll of the leaves. This chlorophyll, does that ring a bell? Like a, well, anyway, if it's a green that's alive, it comes out red. So then the reasons why we did it is, I think, obvious. But it is the first feature film that was shot on color infrared.
Color infrared. 그러니까 그 기술로 사용한 조금 그 최초의 장편 영화고 그게 이렇게 그 이파리 초록색 같은 게 색깔이 다르게 나오고 그래서 이제 중요한 핵심은 저예산으로 찍어야 하는데 그걸 구현하기 위해서 아주 기가 막힌 아이디어를 내셨다는 거죠. Yes.
Yeah. There was I mean, that's what we can say. There's a question here.
땡큐. 일단은 저는 이제 오늘 영화를 봤는데 이제 희망적으로 끝나는 게 이게 참 좋았고 이제 궁금한 게 동화 요소도 있고 SF 요소도 있고 되게 다양하게 나오더라고요. 그리고 그리고 저 백투더퓨처도 좀 생각이 났어요. 그래서 영화를 기획을 준비를 하실 때 스토리를 이렇게 어떻게 짰는지 이제 뭐 그렇게 좀 연출을 어떻게 하려고 계획을 하셨는지 이게 좀 궁금합니다. 너무 어려운가요?
제가 잠시만요.
Time travel. Yeah.
그리고 그래서 뭐가 궁금하세요?
네, 뭐 백투더퓨처도 있고 이거 지금 이렇게 다양한 이런 어떻게 보면 이렇게 좀 환경 고발 이런 영화잖아요. 근데 근데 이거를 이렇게 좀 판타지랑 SF 이런 요소를 해서 어떻게 재미있게 만들 거 어떻게 기획을 누가 하셨는지 스토리를 짜셨는지 이런 거.
저는 이분이
예.
하셨는데요.
아,
아 미치겠네.
네.
Yeah, I
원래
mean,
무대인사만
I
짧게
didn't,
Yeah,
하려고
yeah,
didn't exactly
했는데
hear the full question, but I get what the question is about. It's a mix of many techniques and a mix of many aesthetics and a mix of many narrative ways of telling a story, right? Like there's a fairy tale, there's an animation in the middle, the two astronauts,
예,
then there's a lot of documentary, classic documentary narrative, then there's a science fiction narrative with a time travel. So it's a funny mix. I'd like to think of it like cooking, that you have a plate and you have different ingredients. And when we wrote this film, a lot of people said, that's not going to taste good. Like that's just too many different things.
그래서 이게 요리라고 생각하면 많은 그 테크닉도 섞었고 그 여러 가지 섞었는데 자기는 요리라고 생각을 하신다고 맛이 없을 거라고 사람들이 말했지만
Yeah, but
하지만
I'm lucky to have really like a great editor. She's a young girl. No, now she's not that young anymore. She was like 26 when she cut this. She's a superstar genius, and she can cook. She can fucking cook. Like she really can put all these things together, and somehow for me it works. The fairy tale in Europe, they don't like it. I've tried it. Not everybody is into the fairy tale thing in Europe. Here, this is. I think there's. I don't know. We've had a couple of screenings already in the festival. Also, people have said they liked the fairy tale. What? I mean, you also liked it. Did you like it, or the fairy tale? She's not even listening.
좋은 어플이 있었네. I like fairy tale.
That was a good question.
Ah, really? What was it? Anyway, okay. 그레타라는 아주 훌륭한 저 편집 담당 그레타. Right?
What?
Great editor.
Yeah. Maxime, good.
그 분은 아주 천재 같은 그런 사람을 만나가지고 잘 이렇게 하셨다고 하고 페리테일 부분을 유럽에서 별로 안 좋아했지만 여기서는 좋아하는 것 같다. I like it.
Yeah. Because what my intention was is that to say we are living in a fairy tale, and this fairy tale that we think is normal, for us it's normal. At some point, looking back, it will look like a fairy tale. It's already starting. I'm already 40 plus. I remember in my childhood going in my street, seeing a bush with 50 butterflies. No problem, 50, 60, 70, it's like a cloud of butterflies. That's gone. The young kids don't know this anymore. So it's already starting that the fairy tale is beginning to disappear.
네, 동화가 사라지고 있다. 본인도 40년 전 옛날에 생각해 보면 어렸을 때 이렇게 나비가 확 이게 있었는데 우리가 더 이상 볼 수 없잖아요. 그래서 이제 시작되고 있다.
Yeah, so that's why the fairy tale.
그래서 그 동화라고 생각합니다.
Yeah.
중간에 계시는 분
Yeah, go for it.
마지막으로
Go for it.
저는 영화 정말 잘 봤습니다. 여쭤보고 싶은 것은 영화에서 쓴 기록 영상이라던가 푸티지를 수집 과정이라던가 어떻게 찾으셨는지 선택하셨는지도 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
인터뷰 같은 거 말씀.
아니, 기록 영상,
아,
그러니까
기록
과거의
영상.
영상들이라던가 하는 것들, 흑백 영상 그런 것들.
다큐멘터리.
And news articles. Yeah. Just talk about the news articles. Yeah. Okay. So the question I think is about the news articles. And I've noticed the good questions often come from exactly in the middle of the cinema. Yeah, the news articles. So we made this. We kind of made this film between 2019 and 2021.
2000 잠깐만.
The production period was like between 2018, let's say, and 2021.
아, 예, 2018년에서 예, 2020년 2021,
Yeah.
2021년까지 제작을 했는데요.
And we thought, okay, this film is going to come out 2021, 22, 23, 24, like around this time. So there's articles in there that are real. Everything that happened up till today is real. Everything that is obviously in the future, we had to invent it.
아, 그 전에 그 전 거 나오는 거는 찾으신 거고 그 이후에 만들어낸 거다. 그 자료들을 그렇습니다.
But what we did when we invented the articles is always base ourselves on scientific projections of the future. So we didn't just invent anything out of our own head. We just always said, okay, this scientific study is going in this direction, so we write this article for 2035, for example.
그 아티클을 그 미래 아티클을 만들 때도 그냥 아무 생각 없이 그냥 쓴 게 아니라 이제 그 과학적인 예측을 바탕으로 해서 이렇게 만드셨다고 합니다.
And you can see that in the beginning, the very first sequence is that they call it business as usual. No? Like if we don't do anything, it's going to get really bad. And then you might remember in the very first sequence, 2035, we discover more oil in the Arctic. And just imagine that. Imagine we find a lot more oil now. It would be then we would never get off the oil.
오일.
Oil.
첫 번째 시퀀스에서 오일이 나오고요. 더 많은 오일이 나오는데 너무 죄송해요 제가 진짜. 오일.
Oil for gasoline.
아 예.
Yeah.
So there are many oils.
She's not a translator, like that. Don't worry. She's no, I said that in the beginning sequence, there is like a bad scenario. And what part of the bad scenario is,
okay.
imagine we found a lot of oil underneath the Arctic ice now, in 10 years, let's say. It would be terrible. It would be really bad.
Yeah,
Because we would totally burn this whole oil. Anyway, the beginning sequence is the bad part. Then in the end, it's the positive news, no? And there are small things that I think are really easy to understand and easy to hope for. For example, rail traffic, night trains. In Europe, like they used to have the trains that go overnight with beds. Now they don't really have them anymore, but they're coming back. And I think things like that, small things that we can avoid to fly, there's like 100 things that we could do, and imagining it is possible, and it's a lot of fun. And that's what we try to do in the end. Like just imagine if we did a couple of things right, and we could actually, it's possible to imagine a better world than this, for sure.
For better world. For better world.
Better world.
더 좋은 세상을 위해서 영화에 그런 걸 담았지만 제 좋은 세상을 위해서 우리 영화를 열심히 봐주세요. 감사합니다.
Hey, thanks for
네, 감사합니다.
thanks for coming to the cinema and not sitting at home watching the streaming content. We're here together having fun. We're gonna go for a drink after. Go to the cinema. Thank you very, very, very much.
네, 알겠습니다. 정말 감사합니다.
네,